Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm messing with this light, trying to make it as good as it can be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, more and more and more professional you get.
Yes, well, I'll tell you in a minute, but this all stems from something that happened on Friday night that we'll talk about in a moment. But
Okay,
how was
gotcha.
the weekend?
It was good. I actually went and saw Bullet Train, that new Brad Pitt movie.
I've
Um,
not even heard of this thing. What? How was it?
uh, if Kill Bill was a comedy on a bullet train, that's
Oh,
the best way I can
okay.
describe it. So
I'm down for that.
he was quite good in a comedic role. I was kind of surprised, honestly. So yeah, I went with a buddy of mine, and
Hmm.
it was awesome. What about you?
I did literally nothing.
I mean, you gamed,
Um,
right?
Oh yeah, of course we
Okay.
gamed. Yeah, I did that. I did my movement both days. So yeah, didn't really do very much of anything. We got out and about to go to like the grocery store yesterday for like the weekly trip and stuff. But nothing, nothing extreme, nothing crazy. Exactly the way I wanted it.
Yeah, that's good.
I was
Nice.
I was thinking about going to a concert last night over in Dallas because Logic was in town and was playing, but it was like far side of Dallas, and I didn't have anyone to go with, and it's kind of like, I'm not the like if it was a Fort Worth show, I would have gone by myself, but I'm not going to go all the way to Dallas by myself, so I missed the show, which I'm a little bummed about, but hopefully he'll be back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't mind going to shows by myself, but you're right. There's something about driving further that makes it a little less desirable. So,
yeah,
good morning, Mike, Mr. Regular in the
Mr.
house,
Regular,
and Mrs. Regular as well.
Mrs. Regular, yes, Mrs. Bill.
That's right. This is Bill.
I did get new dry erase markers yesterday at the store, which is a
Me too.
thing that I'm a little bit more excited about than I probably should be,
Yeah, yeah. Me
right?
too. I
Because
got them on
these
Thursday.
these have been kind of going out on me, and it's frustrating to like get excited and like, oh my gosh, we're gonna whiteboard something, and I go over here and the marker sucks, and then it's like, oh, hold on one second, and the next marker sucks, the next marker sucks.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
excited. Yeah,
yeah.
little
It's funny.
things.
It's funny that that's a thing for sure.
Gabe, good morning, sir.
Gabe and Will, what's going on, man?
Will Aiken.
Happy fellas.
Uh,
So,
Will was on vacation last week. I wonder if he's back in the saddle this week, or if he's, you know, if this is part of his vacation, is hanging out with us on the show.
hey, it could be. It could be. It's funny. You get the whole now that he's been on the show, I see his stuff everywhere, sort of
Yes.
thing going on in my feed. So it's partially feed and partially my brain just goes, "Hey, I've talked to that guy." You know. So yeah, I got that aspect going on with Will, and I
Hmm.
probably will with Abed as well now. Same thing will happen.
Yes.
So
I I did spend the weekend learning the lyrics to his songs. So chill day today. Yeah, nice. I always have to build in the chill day. I can't go directly from like a travel vacation back to work because like it's always like a travel fest. It's never really a vacation. Like we never go someplace and just chill. It's like let's go someplace and hit this museum and this eatery and this thing and this thing and this thing, and then we're
mhm.
wiped out and need a day to like do laundry and get back into like regular human mode.
Yeah,
But
that's fair. That's fair. I do know, like when you work for someone other than yourself, that's not always possible, right? So you're like sprinting back Sunday night. And you're like, okay, we made it back.
yes,
And then Monday morning, you're just like, ugh.
yes, yeah, wiped. Like no clean laundry either because you've been on. Yes, Gabe, you need to go see Logic. But yes, yeah, we've not been on a trip as a family. We were just talking about that. We have plans next summer to go to France, which would be pretty cool. We're going to travel with some friends of ours, and they have friends over there, so we're kind of saving up for that because that'll be semi-expensive trip, but it'll be rad. It'll be cool to show Alice a whole other culture and country.
Yeah, well, that'd be super cool. So, yep, it's in the feed now. It's in the feed. The
It's
algo doing its
in
work.
it's everywhere now. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that like Will's a global phenomenon, I guess, too. I mean, we could mention that.
Yeah, I mean the fact that he's, lived in three different continents. I mean he's got to be
Right.
huge. He's got to be famous. You should see how big he is in Japan. He's huge over there.
Physically, really tall. Yep.
Okay, so Friday night, I
Yep.
went to I met Gabe there actually. I met Gabe at a LinkedIn stream party that happens on LinkedIn. It
I
is
saw
a
that.
networking streaming event, and what an experience that thing was. Like the chat was a blur. Everyone was having a blast of a time, and I'm not the person who was like, you shouldn't post this on LinkedIn. This was just the last thing I expected to see on LinkedIn. But
A literal
rad.
rave.
Yeah, a literal rave with like networking prompts. Like, yeah,
It's
blew
crazy.
me away. Blew me
Yeah.
away. It was so cool. That is
Yep.
going to be T-Lock, as he is affectionately known in his Discord server, is going to be our guest this Friday. We're going to be talking to him about his Discord community, his streaming, how he does it all, what he actually does for clients, and how this whole thing comes together. Because when you see him in his feed doing his stream, man, that guy is living his best life, and that is just very cool.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
something like this, and like he's got like the rave here, and then he's over there, and then like
Yes.
music and like all sorts of stuff going on. It is something to behold.
Yes. It is. It is. I was stunned. I was like, I don't know. I don't even know what to expect from this thing, and just kind of hung out. And yeah, his community is awesome. They like different kinds of contests. It's really really cool. So we'll be talking
Yeah.
a lot about community, streaming, and how he uses it in the rest of his business. So it'll be very cool.
Yeah, and I saw Gabe actually right before that testing a similar format, although he didn't have all the party stuff going on, but he was how he does. Gabe
Yes.
gets tests all the equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, Gabe, who's your co-host? Do you have a co-host? I've seen him on there with you a couple times now, so I'm not sure if he's an official co-host or you're just having a friend on for while you're testing all this stuff. But yeah, okay. So how did you end up last week? We didn't really like zero in on goals last
Hmm.
week per se. When we're more just kind of trolling along, trying to get some stuff done. But
Yeah.
how that ended up for you?
The the outreach was done, right? So the goal of the outreach is to do at least 5 a day. If I choose to do more than I can, but it's supposed to be a daily activity, right? And that means I'm not working too far ahead or in advance, right? Because if it becomes one of those things where like I'm just going to do all 25 on Monday, it then becomes something I'm like trying to save up and do. And I do think that this is an activity that most people should be doing a little bit of every day, a little bit of outreach, a little bit of like, hey, how you doing? Hey, could we meet? Kind of thing. And so yeah, plan is to continue that this week. I might have a struggle with that actually. So the one of the projects that I'm working on, trying to figure out how to talk about this, we're in the stage to where we need to test the process and we need to do some market research as well.
Yeah,
So normally the owner is the person who I task to go do this because it's uncomfortable for everybody to bring in a salesperson, stick them in a new process. It's just too many different variables at the same time. So what we normally do is kind of stabilize a little bit of process. I ask the leadership or existing salespeople to take some of those calls to kind of test and do some market research, do some discovery of the way that we do it, and then come back to it. Well, in this situation, the leadership has moved on from the sales role, right? So they're not really doing that, and they have really big client accounts, so there's good revenue coming in the door. And the salesperson who they brought on kind of concurrently and outside of my placing kind of thing is much better for support, so they want to keep him on the support side. So we're talking about me coming in doing a bulk of calls for an experiment to test the marketing, the positioning, also do market research and everything like that. So
hmm
I need to give them a scope essentially for that for this week. And that might mean, because if I'm doing that, I can't do my own prospecting at the same time and deliver to the clients and do everything else that I do. So that might be the thing that I'm doing this week, as opposed to doing like my own outreach and stuff. I might be just doing outreach and having calls for those people to have some really good conversations. I need to figure that out today, honestly, right? So that I can give them closure on it and figure out if we're going to do it. Because the bad part about taking calls for them is I'm not taking calls for myself, and my momentum kind of stalls out a little bit. So when I'm pricing out how much I'm going to price this experiment for, I need to take that into consideration as well, right? Because I can't sell my things if I'm having conversations for them and trying to sell their things. So I need to be paid appropriately for taking care of this at a high level, cannibalizing my own pipeline and all these other things. So that's the part I'm trying to figure out.
that is definitely a thing to figure out. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
it's an interesting thing. Excuse me, I didn't mean to hack into the mic there, because like the momentum of prospecting is such like a big thing that can't be understated, right? And if I go 45 days without doing any for myself, I'm going to have a little bit of like, okay, what was I doing, and trying to get back into the end of the vein of it and stuff like that. So this has to make sense. That's where that is.
So I'm curious for you. For me, I know it's this way, but for you, it, is there a way to still, even given all that, do something for yourself? Like even if it's 20 minutes one day this week?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, the thing I need to figure out is exactly how much I need to shut down, right? Because
Okay.
some of my prospecting is on Lunch Club, right? And so like I'll meet really cool people in there and who might not need anything for right now, but hey, come hang out in the Sherpa community. And so that is almost better than my like regular kind of outreach and prospecting, like better outcomes, better conversations and stuff. So
Right.
um, I'll still be doing a little bit. I just won't be able to do as much. In addition to that, we've got some other meetings and things like that this week that yeah are just going to take up some extra bandwidth. So I need to figure that out for today. I need to figure out exactly kind of what my like minimum prospecting and outreach thing will look like, so that way I can just be consistent on like my growth weeks and then my non-growth weeks because I have too
Yeah.
much going on.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
plan is to figure that out today. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll do that today.
Yeah.
I have a lunch today with a guy named Ryan Job for this other project that I'm working on. It's in the financial industry, so I'm meeting with him. He's a commercial banker, so we're talking about that kind of stuff. And I'm going to be sending some emails to kind of get started with a new team today. I need to build 2 CRMs today. Well, I need to polish one and actually build one. One is like the bones are there. I just need to put in some automations and things like that. So no calls today, but I do have the lunch. And normally Monday's like just like a planning kind of decompress today, but I think today's gonna be mostly working with the lunch.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Is this an IRL? Like you meet a lunch in person?
I know everyone is very very shocked. I do meet people in real life. I do have actual in-person lunches. Not a lot, because once
Yeah.
again, driving like just doesn't make any sense when we can just do this a lot. Ryan is one of those. He's on the short list of people who's like, hey man, I don't really like to do Zoom, and it's like, cool man, I'll meet you for lunch. Let's meet. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. That's good. Well, I think what you said there particularly that's important for me. That's as I was thinking when I asked that question of you was that having like a growth week and a non-growth week, like still finding a cadence that works. Or I'm going heavy this week, but I'm still going. It's just lighter on this week, so
yeah,
that pipeline's still, even if it's top of the pipeline, like you were talking about, it's still being filled in some way,
yep.
shape, or form. Because I
I
was talking to
mean,
someone this week about that same thing, and they just kept stopping. And I was like, this here is your problem. You just keep
yes.
stopping. You can't. And I'm talking for 6 weeks. Like, oh, I was really busy. Like, you can't stop for 6 weeks. You die
Yeah,
that way
I mean, for 6 weeks, like
at a time.
one of the best books I've ever read about prospecting is Jeb Blunt's Fanatical Prospecting, right? And I'd heard a similar thing from my coaches, but like when I think about this, I kind of pull it from him. Like anytime you have a lull in your sales, right, in your consistency, if you've been consistent and then you're not, you can look back at 30, 60, 90 days before when you took your foot off of the gas pedal, right? And part of the chop wood, carry water mentality is that it's supposed to be a daily activity so that way you don't get emotional about it. These are just actions you're taking out to the
Yeah,
best of your ability without putting a bunch of pressure on the outcomes that you cannot control. So do it daily. Keep yourself in that mindset of not being attached to it, because otherwise it's going to be a thing you're going to either avoid or, make too big or get too scared of.
exactly. Because even right now, where I've got a full time job that I'm, I have the full commitment to, I still do a couple outreaches for networking, for introductions, for advisement for equity for that play.
Mhm.
Just meet some new people, find some cool stuff going on, develop a relationship, see if it goes anywhere, and make a path on how I want to moving forward from that conversation. Move. Do I want to keep talking to them? Do they have something I might be interested in helping with? Do they not? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So um, it's got
And
yeah,
really cool thing happened actually over the weekend. If I can say this,
yeah,
we were, I think there's so many platforms now. I'm trying to remember where this chat took place. I think this is on Twitter. But someone sent me a tweet and they're like, hey man, it's watching the show. How do I get in your Slack community? And I was like, well, we just have to have a conversation to make sure that the vibe is good. And so we're going to be having that. So that was pretty cool, because that's the first time someone has been coming in my direction like, oh my gosh, I want to be part of this thing. How do I do that? Well, I mean, there's no payment or anything. I just have to make sure that you're going to get along with everybody else, and you're not going to come in there like, you know, like old school John and try to sell everybody everything, you know,
because Grant Cardone, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nope.
Yes, I have a group for you. It's called the trash receptacle.
Oh yeah, because I'm in those groups on Facebook. Like, if you want to go hang out in those groups, I can send you 50 of them, and you're more than welcome to go hang out. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me about this light then. You said something happened Friday.
That networking event was the thing that blew my mind on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the digital one.
Okay. So the lighting's just another aspect of watching Travis just like throw down and be like, I gotta up my game.
Oh my God. He's got great lighting, right? And he wears glasses too, which kind of ruins my hypothesis that you can't have good lighting and wear glasses. So now like I really have to like figure my crap out and like have some good lighting, because like, you know, I'm okay if it's universal. Like, if no one can have good lighting if you wear glasses, okay, good. I'll make do. Now that I know that there's another level, I have to go figure it out. So,
yeah, it's all that, dude. It's all out there on YouTube. I just figured you hadn't been wanting to go drop any sort of major cash for a lighting setup, you know?
No, I don't want to spend a lot of cash on a lighting setup.
There you go. Yeah, because you can go to YouTube and figure out how to light your room in a way that's balanced. Really, is what we're talking about here, is balanced, so that you don't have the shine on the lens, but you still don't have the heavy shadows, but you still have enough light, like all the things that you look for. So, yep, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing,
right?
Yeah, and especially if you start getting to Travis and Gabe level, where now you're doing like strobes and LEDs and multiple color lights and like so much.
I don't think I'm even going to try to get that crazy with it. I just want to be able, I don't know, a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? I guess transition maybe is the right word, because like we do so much delivery via Zoom and everything, having little pop-ups, you know, just like we're trying to build for the morning show, right? For this thing of like segments and, you know, some spots. Improvement at a glance is kind of how I'm thinking about it, right? So lower thirds, easier to follow. What are we talking about again? Okay, it's up there on the screen kind of thing. So
yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay, well, so we've already kind of like hopped to this week. You've got to figure out how you're going to split your time, which sounds like pretty major on your head. Is there anything else this week that you know that you've got to walk through first, not just dive in when you get there?
Ooh, that's a really good question. So one of our clients is in the medical realm, and we're helping them out with like site and SEO and content and stuff. And it's not really our normal lane, but there's a brand new salesperson attached to it. So we're kind of like teaching her the craft, which is why we're doing all these additional things that we don't normally do. So we have a meeting with them tomorrow. So we meet with them every other week. So I need to get in there and kind of make sure that everything we talked about is caught up and things like that. Everything else is pretty much like standard kind of like meetings for the week, right? Coaching delivery, fair amount of lunch clubs, accountability on Friday. So just like the regular stuff. I have a couple of additional calls. I think we're doing I might be doing a podcast interview this week, I think. And then talking about maybe expanding scope on an additional project as well. So the thing I decided to do yesterday was to go into the Rev Genius community, which is another Slack community that I'm in, because I need to start looking for, I don't know how to like say this any better, but essentially like an associate, someone who's going to come in and learn this stuff, and then also wants to eventually be a Sherpa coach is really the thing that I would like this person to do. But they have to come in and figure out the documentation side. They have to figure out like how this stuff works and how we help our clients stuff. So it'd be a lot of shadowing, documenting, and then eventually they would, you know, if they wanted to, step into more of like coaching and things like that. So I put that in there because it's a community of sales nerds, and got some people who reach back out to it. So That's exciting. I'm terrified, honestly, about doing that because I don't want to do it the wrong way, and I want to do it the right way. And obviously, and in the
Mm-hmm.
past, I've tried to bring on two people to do this, and to kind of be like the first person who's not me, like working inside of the company, like sales side. And neither
Mm-hmm.
one of them have gone very well, partially because this is very weird. I end up doing a version of the thing that I hate, right? Of just like, okay, great. We'll just start kind of thing, right? And I'm not, and in my head, this has always been different because I don't want them to go figure them all out. I just want them to like start so then we can begin to iterate on the thing that they've started, right? Because you have to take that first step so that way the coach can say, hey, okay, great. Here's what that first step looked like. How did it feel for you? But if you're just stuck at that first step, there's not really a whole lot to coach on. It's just like you have to move somewhere in some direction, you know? And I didn't do a very good job with two people that we tried to do that for, because what normally happens is I try to do this whenever I'm slammed, right? So just like in the E-Myth, right? I'm too busy. I have a level of expectation. I don't do the best job of defining it, and then I bring someone on, and it doesn't work out very well. So I'm trying to do it differently. I'm not exactly sure how to do it differently and still do it the way that it needs to be done, if that makes sense. So I don't know. That's going to be an outsized amount of bandwidth in my head this week as I begin to kind of talk to people about that.
That's interesting because I'm on the opposite side of it coming into this job, right? Because it's like we have this thing and we know what we want it to look like, but ready, go. So it's like start.
Yeah.
And so, I think from like the two things I keep thinking of is that they're helpful for me are give me a roadmap, just a basic roadmap where we're going. Show me the 5 basic steps of what it'll look like to get to the end or the first major milestone. And then some sort of framework that I can work inside of. And so for me, it's like a basic script for how you want me to run these 5 calls, like something like that. Now I can make it my own. I can start, I can go do the reps, but like if you give me just a basic framework and where I'm going, I feel like most people who are not motivated is the right word, but intrinsically just self-motivated will just go, right?
Yeah.
They'll just go, okay, great. I've got something to sink my teeth into now. Now I'll go and screw this up a bunch of times and you tell me where I'm wrong. But if you don't at least give them that, then there's this like level of vagueness that some people thrive in, honestly. Some people are like, well, great, I'm doing it my way then. But then there's the other group of people like me. They're like, okay, well, you clearly have rules. So tell me what they are. So then I can go break them.
Yeah. And it's so, the way that I think about like outreach and everything is that it's so subjective. And this is not intentional around this, but I end up kind of sounding like the artistic snob, I just want you to like, how do I say this? They're just actions that need to be done with that. Like and man, the curse of knowledge around this is so strong. Like, I don't even care if they're terrible. You just need to do them. Right. And like, no one starts out writing good emails. Like my emails when I started were like these huge bricks of, here are my capabilities and here's what we're able to do. And no one ever read them and they were going in and all the other stuff. So it's just kind of like, it's going to shift depending upon what's important to you and every. So it's, that might be head trash and limiting belief, but it's a hard thing to do. Courtney Gumbleton is here, everybody. Holy crap. Hi, Courtney.
Hi, Courtney.
There's the Just Figured Out group, and then those who need all specific. Yes, true, right? And I can be both of those if I feel like I have the room to be both of those, right? Because like in certain situations, okay, John, I just go do this thing. Like, you have an expectation. I need a little bit more information. And some people, okay, John, I just need you to go do this. Okay, great. Do you have this figured out? No. Then I can just go in and kind of do it on my own. But there's a weird space between those things of, I can do both, but I'm not comfortable just like picking which one I choose to do.
And I mean, I think personality wise, you're going to fall in one camp or the other, but like contextually, that can change. Like you said, you could literally be in either camp.
Yeah.
Because if there's expectations, most people at least want to know what winning looks like. I mean, don't tell me what to do, but just tell me what it looks like. So Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Hi, Courtney. Uh, so this week, you've got the busy week. You've got the transaction essentially that's taken over part of your own
Yep,
stuff.
scope of
You've got
work.
a small amount of outreach and not let that drop. Anything else like that we need worth mentioning here?
No, everything else is just like par for the course, right? Some polishing, some building, some delivery, lots of calls.
Have you movement? What's your movement look like this week?
The
What do you think?
same. We're gonna do the same thing. Five sessions over 7 days, right? So,
Okay.
yeah, kind
Cool.
of no plans to change that. Honestly, that's been good and approachable. So,
Nice. Okay. Cool. Well, I had some pretty decent foot pain this week after running a couple times because I actually did some running actual workouts, and I'm not a huge runner, but I just decided to insert something new, and
mhm.
so I still want to hit the 5 days, but I'm gonna have to figure out something else for the
is it
cardio.
is it like plantar fasciitis or something, or what's going on with the
Yeah,
foot pain?
yeah. Well, I have plantar fasciitis off and on my whole life, so I know how to kind of like deal with that and work with that. It's
Hmm.
actually more kind of joint pain in my ankles,
Ooh,
sort of.
okay,
So yeah, so it's an interesting thing, and it's not debilitating. It's just annoying enough that it's got my brain going, okay, maybe figure something out that's
yeah,
not sprinting.
yeah,
um, yeah, so I'm working on that this week, but I'm still gonna get my 5 workouts in, and then my big goal for the week, it's gonna be same as you, right? I've got heads down, I'm doing things, I'm doing through calls, I'm showing up places, I'm doing work that I've been assigned, but like
hmm
kind of my proactive goal is to fill out the stages of a coaching process with a document, kind of like Courtney's saying, like what's the specific task I know right now, and each stage of the process, I'm going to write down what I've seen and document for the next person so that they can see what's going on. Because that's going to help me best practice, stay on track with the best way to do it. And when we start hiring more coaches, it'll be documented in a better way.
Okay, I have a question. A couple of
Uh,
questions. So you're, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're essentially building the coaching framework.
no, no, so like the best practices are there, but no one has documented them end to end in a linear fashion so that you could
Hmm.
just onboard someone and go, okay,
Okay,
here's step one, here's what that document looks like, here's where that resource is, here's where that training call is, kind of all tidied up in a,
okay.
yeah.
So you're
So,
okay. Interesting.
because
So
scale,
you're
so
creating the onboarding documentation for new coaches.
yeah, but there's a little bit of discovery too, because I got to go find out. I know there's best practices, but they're not documented. So I have to go find them, check them against the experts. Say, hey, is this what you said? Is this the best practice that you want documented? Yes.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, however you describe it, I
Nice.
yeah, I've taken that on because I'm going to have to be hiring coaches to work under me, and I would rather be able to, like you, to say, okay, start, and there's no excuse. It's all right
Yeah.
here. Go do reps, and then that sort of thing.
Rad. Okay. So the goal is to have that done this week.
Yeah, I already built all the starter documents for each step with
Okay.
the basic like I put 5 things, 5 sentences
Hmm.
on each page to go. This is what I've seen. So now I'm just going to go fill in each of those pieces and get all the resources pulled together.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, my goal Friday end of the week is to be able to like show that if I had to.
Rad. Very cool. That'll
Yeah,
be very exciting.
yeah, and it's going to help me learn my role better. So it's like a dual edged sword.
Yeah, for sure. That's rad, man. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see.
that's essentially kind of what I'm building with the CRMs today. I did a
Okay.
trial with Asana. Oh man, my hate for Asana
Really?
is I of all the project management tools and systems I've used, and I've used a lot of them, Monday and um, Teamwork and Trello and ClickUp and all of them. Asana is the one that doesn't fit how my brain wants to do project management.
Okay. Okay. So it's not a good fit.
I'm being nice. Yes, it's not a
Okay.
good fit for me because like their system doesn't work in a way that makes sense in my head. And what's funny is like I know a fair amount of other people who feel the same way about that tool. So
Hmm.
like I was just thinking it was me, and then I'm like, someone else was like, "Oh, I hate Asana," and I was like, "Why?" They're like, "It just doesn't make any sense," and I was like, "Yes, it doesn't make any sense." Um, Rather
Interesting.
brief, yeah, yeah. The tasks and the breakout activities are how projects get done, right? So, anytime you can shortcut that and get it from someplace else and trust that it's good, it's going to be nice.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
just, yeah, no, we're
Okay.
ClickUp confirmed for forever, I think, at this stage.
Okay. We use ClickUp as well. So I do like, I'm brand new to ClickUp though. So I'm still learning that system, but
It's a lot, but it's good.
yeah, for sure. That's a whole nother show. All the tools.
That's a whole, hey, if y'all would like us to go over it, like the tools that we like and the tools that we use and stuff like that, that could be potentially a cool show, like kind of show our tech stacks. My wife loves it now. I hate it. Like, do you hate it now that she loves it, Mike? Or like, do you just have to be that person?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Cool. Well, I got to wrap. Get my day started
sir.
here. We're going to go do the stuff, go do the thing. And once again, definitely want to hear. I love hearing all the stuff that Courtney and Mike and Dylan tossing their stuff in the because like I would love to hear what tools they use as well. Because you and I have never met a tool we wouldn't like to meet.
That's very true. And Courtney actually works with Tech Fort Worth, right? So they're doing things differently, right? So like how they make this tech work for them and their systems could be very interesting because it's not just like a digital marketing agency, and stuff like that we're used to.
That might be another conversation for Friday, huh?
Maybe, potentially.
Yeah. Some interesting things. She sees a lot of stuff. So cool. Well, thanks for everybody coming in today. Like I said, Courtney, Mike, Dylan, who else am I missing? Michelle, Lurkers, Will, thanks for hopping on. Gabe.
Yeah, Will. Dylan, thank you for the attempted introduction. We'll see if they respond, but I appreciate it. Courtney, if you check out ClickUp and you need some help, let me know. I have a great, amazing person who does ClickUp build outs and customizations and consulting and stuff like that. So
cool.
If you can think about it as a process, this person can build it into your ClickUp, which is pretty cool.
Very cool. All right, guys. Well, we will see you tomorrow morning, same time, same bat channel.
Yes.
And
same bat time.
Bill, anything? Let me know.
I don't need anything today, man. But I would love to make sure that. Well, okay. So first of all, did you get your HubSpot cert finished?
Yes. I did.
Good. I just wanted to make sure because we didn't really talk about that or wrap that up, and I was like, "Hey, did you pay and not tell anybody?" Because
No. I did it, and I actually ended up having to do it over the weekends because Friday got busy, because I knew it would. That's why I didn't want to wait till Friday, and so I was like, "Here it was Saturday at like 10 a.m." I'm like, so I just put some loud music on and just did the thing.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. Courtney, I would love to catch up. Yeah, I'll message you on one of the 1,000 channels we're connected on, and we'll figure it out.
All right, guys. Have a great Monday, and we will see you all tomorrow.
See you, everybody.
Goodbye.